It's Allie, Coram, and Ken Shreve here with a look at the action in today's session for Thursday, January 18th. And the Nasdaq led the gains today, powered by chip stocks, Ken.
Yes, indeed. Another good day for the market. It was sort of an up and down, back and forth session, but we did end near session highs and a really strong gain for the Nasdaq composite. Let's take a look at Taiwan Semiconductor TSM. That was a big reason why the Nasdaq rallied so much today. Also in the same sector, ARM Holdings, ARM, and finally United Rentals, URI.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at those stocks, but first let's analyze those major indexes. The Nasdaq today up almost 1.4%. We had the S&P 500 up 0.8, almost 0.9% today. The Dow up 0.5%, and the Russell 2000 also with a gain of 0.5%. But really, the story here today was chip sector gains, really driven by Taiwan Semiconductor.
Yeah, overall, listen, a very constructive session for the stock market. We did get a nice close off lows yesterday. That was compelling. Higher volume on the Nasdaq today, and a nice reclaiming of the 15,000 level. Nice close near highs for the S&P 500 as well. So overall, strong day for the market. And again, you had a bullish outlook from Taiwan Semiconductor, which fueled positive sentiment.
Okay, well, let's take a quick look at the 10-year Treasury yield because we saw another uptick here, and that didn't stop the bulls today.
Yeah, I think the market rally was impressive considering we had more strength in the U.S. dollar and bond yields. You can see the 10-year yield has come well off that lows. We'll see if it's going to bump up against that 50-day moving average. See if that's a resistance level. But pretty strong performance for the market in light of rising bond yields and strength in the U.S. dollar.
Okay, and then two more quick charts we want to take a look at. Here's IWM, which tracks the Russell 2000. So finding support around that 50-day line, getting back above 1900 on that index level after finding support there. And then RSP. So let's talk briefly about breadth, Ken.
Well, breadth has been weak pretty much all year, and even on IBD Live this morning, we're talking about even when the market was up, breadth was still negative. I think we ended up barely positive on both exchanges, so that's a yellow flag to keep in mind out there. We are in a confirmed uptrend. There's a lot of stocks acting well. There's a lot of good technical setups out there. Just wanting to see breadth improve, and on a day that saw the Nasdaq rise more than 1%, to see winning stocks having just a slight edge over advancers, definitely disappointing for breadth watchers, but maybe that will improve in coming days. I know that stock market bulls would like to see breadth improve. It's been pretty weak since the start of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. But the winners keep on winning, so.
Yes, indeed.
We do have some nice leadership. Okay, well, let's take a look at TSM. Maybe is this going to be another winner? It was today, up almost 10% in some heavy volume here, Ken.
Yeah, I mentioned at the onset, the world's largest contract chip manufacturer. They have Apple as a big customer, AMD, NVIDIA, Qualcomm. I mean, this is just a bellwether in the sector. So when they guide Q1 revenue, pretty good Q1 revenue guidance, and then full year revenue for 2024, they said it was going to be up 20% plus from the prior year. I'm talking about strong demand for high-end chips that are used in these artificial intelligence applications. So that fueled a big move. A good example of how a stock gapped up and held that gain throughout the day, held above the 110 level. You go over to the weekly chart, just a classic technical breakout that we like to see in a confirmed uptrend here. A big cup with handle base, that started forming back in the middle of last year. Strong breakout today, probably chasing the stock if you're buying it up here, but you see powerful breakouts like this that hold these gains. You can often get an additional entry. You're just going to need to wait for a little period of sideways movement here.
Okay, we will do that. And it wasn't just TSM today moving, it was really the whole sector. So ARM, another chip stock, definitely moving up in sympathy today, up over 6% in some strong volume. And Ken, this is a little bit of a wild stock here, but it's definitely holding key support.
It is a wild one and a name that we've held on leaderboard in the leaderboard model portfolio. We added it back on December 8th, and we've put up with some of the volatile price swings. So you have to know that going in here that ARM tends to trade in volatile fashion. But when you look at the weekly chart, it does tend to smooth things out. This weekly chart has a very good look to it. You can see a little breakout from a cup base, several up weeks in a row, and then it just kind of drifted lower in light volume down to its 10-week moving average and finding support. So I think ARM has a chance to be a leader in the chip sector this year. It's a new issue, as you can see, just came public last year. NVIDIA at one point was interested in buying this company, but the deal just could not get through regulatory muster overseas, so they abandoned the deal. SoftBank ended up acquiring the firm, and then they spun it off as an IPO. And it wasn't a great debut for ARM Holdings when they went public last year, but the stock has rallied nicely and in a really good technical setup here.
Yeah. And so with that support off of the 10-week line and shares at the close as of now, trading within 10% of that level, it seems like maybe intraday, some aggressive traders may have taken an opportunity to get on this crazy train.
Well, we thought about it. This is about a 5 or 6% weighting right now in the leaderboard model portfolio, and we have some stocks that are weighted 10% or even more. So we thought about increasing the position here, but just decided that with a stock as volatile as this, we're
Right.
going to be happy with sort of a half position, 5-6% weighting right now. And if it continues to do well, it'll make up a bigger
Yeah.
portion of the model portfolio if it continues to go higher. But encouraged by the price action and I would say just overall a really bullish day for the Nasdaq to see so many different chip stocks participating. A lot of the chip equipment leaders like ASML, KLA, LRCX. I mean, there was just broad-based strength in the semiconductor sector today.
Yeah, there really was. Okay, well, let's take a look outside of chips and tech and take a look at URI, up 2.4% on the day. This is a stock that's been finding support at that 21-day moving average. And it had a nice explosive move in December, and it's been setting up in an orderly fashion here, it looks like, Ken.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this one, not because it's actionable right now, but this is just exactly how you want to see a stock trade after a technical breakout. So you can see obviously the conviction move above the 500 level, and then just a pull back down to the 21-day exponential moving average on the weekly chart. Again, I like to look at both perspectives here. As you look at the weekly chart, you see that beautiful breakout, and then just kind of tight trading and orderly pullback. Hasn't quite tested the 10-week moving average yet, but if it does come down and touch that red line and buyers come in and offer support, there's your alternate buy zone. The other scenario here is that this is just early in a consolidation and a few more weeks. Even if it doesn't come down and touch the 10-week line, it could form a nice short little base here and possibly give another entry. So United Rentals, I mean, I've been with IBD for a long time, and it seems like this company just for years has been in and out of our growth screens. Just a fundamental powerhouse, and you go back to the daily chart and see a really consistent record of bottom line and top line growth. Provider of industrial construction rental equipment, and just steady fundamentals. Really outstanding return on equity. So it really checks all the boxes fundamentally and technically here.
All right. Well, that's
Okay.
it for today, everyone. We'll be back with more tomorrow morning on IBD Live. Jim Ropel, our special guest. And you'll also be able to catch me on Varney & Co. on Fox Business at 10 a.m. Eastern. So we'll see you there for that. Lots of fun stuff happening tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And we'll see you at the close tomorrow to wrap up the week.